What's up, friends? Welcome into another episode of Tables, Tailgates, and Top Loaders. So happy to have you aboard for this episode. I'm your host, TB. Thank you all very much for stopping in and checking out the 3Ts podcast. A lot to get to today. We're not going to waste any time. I am jumping right into the If Money Were No Object Buy of the Week because, boy, is this a doozy. If you have seen this, Panini announced recently that what they're doing is a special Patrick Mahomes autograph chase for the 2025 season. Now, they are putting together a set of 25 autographed cards that will be inserted into many different Panini football products throughout the 2025 season. Each card is, as I said, signed by Mahomes, and it's limited to 20 copies or fewer. And this is going to start pretty quickly. It starts, I believe, with 2025 certified football, and then you have 2025 origins, yada, yada, yada. So I pulled this up because I wanted to see how ridiculous this set was. And I don't know if you all have seen this, but these are 25 cards. The background and the border, so basically a third of the card looks exactly the same in each one of these 25 cards. The only thing they do is they cut out the actual photo portion, which takes up about, I don't know, a half of the card, but it's kind of in the upper quadrant of the card. They just replaced this with a different, what they consider iconic moment in Patrick Mahomes' career up to this point. We're already doing a special commemorative 25 card autograph set for this guy. It's just ridiculous. But so what they do, they just swap this picture out and they throw this product in all these different Panini releases. So, for example, one celebrates his 2022 touchdown pass title. Another represents the 2024 AFC Championship win, which, by the way, I looked up the stats to this game to see, he must have been awesome. Oh, you know what he did? He threw for 241 yards and 1 touchdown. And we're going to put this on a autographed special edition release Patrick Mahomes card. Wow, spectacular. What a game to celebrate. 241 and 1 TD. That's amazing. I wonder if they talked about this in the ESPN nonsense documentary that they're doing called Chiefs Kingdom, which is already ridiculous in my point of view. Growing up a Bills fan, having to be on the losing end to many Patriot losses. So we had to deal with that nonsense. But at least they waited until Tom Brady was done with his career to put out the multi-episode documentary about the New England Patriots and all that nonsense. Well, here, Patrick Mahomes is still freaking playing, and we already have to watch a stupid ESPN docu-series about how great the Chiefs are. No, thank you. That will be a hard pass for me. So here you have a 25-card autograph set that is dispersed throughout all the football products Panini is releases. So what am I going to do? If money were no object, I am going to have a blank check. I am literally going to buy up every one of these autograph cards. I am going to compile them into one of those big metal barrels, those fire barrels. I'm going to pour gasoline on all these things, and I'm going to then proceed to light these cards on fire, because if money were no object, I don't want any of these to exist. I think it's ridiculous, and I think we all should celebrate the burning of these 25 on-card auto Patrick Mahomes cards, because it's a little too early to be celebrating how freaking amazing he is, because mark my words, folks, mark my words, this is the year that he will not get to the Super Bowl, because if the Chiefs make the Super Bowl this year, that will be 4 straight. And we all know what 4 straight means to the Buffalo Bills. We are the only team in NFL history to ever get to 4 straight Super Bowls, and I refuse to believe that the Chiefs are going to accomplish this feat. Yes, they have won their Super Bowls, or at least some of their Super Bowls, but no other team in history has ever gotten to 4 straight, and I want the Chiefs to fail miserably in this endeavor this year. So we're going to, work up a little voodoo magic or whatever. We're going to collect these autograph cards. We're going to put them in a big-ass container, a big-ass canister like the homeless people gather around, and we're going to light these freaking things on fire, and we're going to celebrate the demise of the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. So who's with me? If money were no object by the week, we are coming out on fire this week, folks, on fire. So anyway, Had to get that off my chest. I saw that and I was absolutely infuriated by this product. So I feel like I wanted to start there. But what else is going on in the card world? I saw a lot of cool things that are either about to release, have released, or are coming up relatively soon. The Pieces of the Past Villains Edition. Have you all seen this? Now, Pieces of the Past, this is a product that is geared mostly towards your history buffs. They usually celebrate different themes or different periods of time, and they put a set of cards or a collection of cards together to commemorate or to kind of, rediscover a certain era or topic in history. They're really cool. They're usually at a decent price point. You can get some kind of off the wall relics that go with these things, but I saw this is coming up. This is the Pieces of the Past Villain Edition, and this is just really, really cool. What this is focusing on is some of the most notorious villains the world has ever seen, according to the punchline on the box here, and it's just awesome. You get 4 relic cards in every box, and there's various types of relics. So, for example, you could get a letter that's kind of cut up and you get a piece of that letter with their original handwriting put into the card. You could get cut signatures. Now, obviously, a cut signature is something that they cut from some sort of document or artifact and they just literally put it into the product. They have Western items, cowboy items, shipwrecked items, pirate maps. I mean, who does not want a piece of a pirate map? That would be amazing. Ship manifest, that looks awesome. But some of the people in this product, you have Julius Caesar, Al Capone, Genghis Khan, Billy the Kid, Alexander the Great, Sir Francis Drake, Bonnie and Clyde. I mean, it's a pretty badass set. I thought this was really cool, really awesome. If you have any interest in history or collecting certain artifacts or relics from different places in the world or different periods of time throughout history, this would be a perfect set for you. And usually, from what I've seen, I can't find a price on this right now, but usually they're pretty reasonable. I would say between $75 and $100 for one of these boxes. I just think they're pretty awesome. So be on the lookout. 2025 Pieces of the Past Villains Edition. I think it's going to be a cool product. What else have I seen in the world of trading cards or sports cards? I have seen 2025 2025 Topps Star Wars Chrome was just released. This is a pretty cool product. Lots of people are going crazy over it. It's a 200 card base set. There are 65 debut characters in this set, so kind of crazy. But the base card looks pretty good. I like the design. It looks pretty clean. Looks pretty colorful. The colors pop. The characters kind of jump off the picture, if you will. And I haven't seen these cards in real life, but from every image and what I'm seeing online, it almost gives the card a 3D look to it. So I do think they're really cool. There are tons and tons of parallels. Yet again, I think Topps has gone crazy with how many different refractors and parallels and all kinds of craziness that they're adding. Lots of inserts. Some of the inserts are pretty cool. There's a graffiti insert. Not a huge fan of that one, but I do like the insert that's called Outer World Oddities. These are pretty neat. Some different enemies, some different monsters, things like that through the Star Wars universe. There's some different rarer inserts, something called a comic fractor, which is specific artwork that you can't really find anywhere. This is going to be a big hit, but otherwise I think this is going to be a pretty successful product. The price is, if you could get it for retail price, you were looking at right around $140 for a hobby box, but those days are gone because they sold out. And I think breakers and whatnot, the secondary markets, they're at least in the low 200s to 250 range for a hobby box, and probably going to keep going up. If you can happen to find the value boxes in your retail establishment, so Walmart, Topps, these are supposed to be around $30, but who really knows? Again, it's all a matter of, can you find the product and how much is it going to be? I know last year Topps released a ton of Star Wars products that seemed to be a bit too much, but this product looks pretty good. In a hobby box, you're supposed to get one autograph. I do think it would be cool to get like a Harrison Ford Han Solo autograph, or who doesn't want a Luke Skywalker autograph from Mark Hamill? That would be pretty badass. But again, this is a good, cool product. Let me know what you think about that one. What else is happening? 2024, Topps announced 2024 Topps Chrome Boxing. Now, this is a debut product, and I got to say, I used to be a huge boxing fan back in the 90s and early 2000s. It was must-see TV to be able to watch Holyfield and Tyson, Lennox Lewis, some of the big heavyweights. It was awesome. My buddy and I would usually try to get together to see some of these heavyweight fights, and it was just a good time. So I was excited to see Topps go back to boxing. It'll be interesting to see how this product does. This is a 100-card base set, and it pretty much runs the gamut of champions throughout history, current contenders, rising stars, legends. Pretty cool. Like, I would love to get like an Oscar De La Hoya card or a Mike Tyson autograph. Tyson Fury is in this product he signed. It's pretty cool. I don't know a ton about current boxing. Obviously, people went crazy when they found out Jake Paul was actually in this product. Now, he's not really well liked, but he's doing his thing. But Floyd Mayweather is in here. You know, side note, Floyd Mayweather, I know he's great. He's one of the best of all time, but every time I watch a Mayweather fight, I'm like, golly, this is boring. But he was never one of my favorites. I do appreciate how great he was, but it would still be cool to get a auto of Mayweather. We shall see how this product does. I'm glad to see stuff like this back. Everyone has their thing, right? So you can't just be pumping out baseball, basketball, football, time after time. I feel like the market for those big three sports just gets so watered down. There's so much product. And at the end of the day, you're like, okay, but do I really need 500 cards? And I'm just as guilty of this as anybody, because there's players I collect and I'm like, oh, there's another version of this card. And I want to get everything. Chase the rainbow, if you will, which is basically here's one card and there's 5,900 variants. And I need to collect every different variant to essentially put the set together, if you will. And I think it gets to be a little ridiculous at times. And I have slowed down with how much I try to pursue these different chases. But it's nice to have other products available, other sports available. I did see a little Instagram blurb that Topps Finest is releasing a WWE product. I'm super excited for that. Hopefully it doesn't come out at $350, $500 a box. I'm waiting to see more details. That's going to be really cool because, like I said, other than the Cactus Jack nonsense that they're releasing at $600 a box, which I think the cards are terrible looking, other than Topps Chrome WWE, which came out in January, Topps has released zero WWE products that are actually affordable and that people can buy. So I'm hoping Topps Finest, I'm hoping to get information on this relatively quickly. I'm hoping that's a good product to jump into. Also, Skybox Metal Universe Batman. This is a cool set. It reminds me of the Fleer Brilliance Superman set that I opened a couple weeks ago, which I loved. I know that pre-sales for this Batman product went extremely well. Everything's sold out, and it's very difficult to find anything on pre-order, but we shall see. I know this product comes out. Looks like August 29th, this product is finally going to drop. It was supposed to be released in June. They had the delay, and so it looks like there was about a 2-month delay, but it's set to release here coming up next week. So hopefully they go live with a few more available products of this, because it looks pretty cool. I would love to get a box of this. And the artwork is similar to, like I said, the Fleer Brilliance Superman, which I thought was super cool. But anyway, what have I actually opened recently? It was great. My wife picked up, when she was up in Buffalo, she went to Dave & Adams, and I asked her to grab me a collector edition hobby box of Garbage Pail Kids at Play. Now, last night we opened this and we had a blast. This was really cool. The theme to this is different games, whether it's board games or video games or toys just in general, and it was a cool walk down nostalgia lane, which you all know I love to do, and this was just so much fun. We didn't probably hit too many awesome cards. I think we only got 2 numbered cards out of the whole box. Now, this was a pretty cheap rip. I think my wife was able to pick this up for around $50, but you know, we got a ton of cards, 24 packs, 8 cards per pack, which is 100 and in quick math, 192 cards roughly in a whole box. So for $50, 192 cards. Hey, whatever. We had a good time. We slow rolled it open last night. Probably took us about an hour, just really enjoying the artwork, and it was a good, fun time. So there you have it, folks. Let's turn our attention to the Buffalo Bills. Bills Mafia, how are we feeling? Well, I'm not feeling too great. 38-0, absolute ass kicking. Look, I get it, preseason, but 38-0, could you guys manage to show up? I mean, you got all these extra cameras from Hard Knocks, and we're going to talk about episode 3 here in a few minutes, but did anybody feel like playing in this game? Anybody at all? I know the starters weren't playing, which is fine, but 38-0? Like, we couldn't get a field goal? We couldn't do anything? Ray Davis, you don't want to kick something? I mean, what are we doing? 38. I sat down Sunday night to watch this game, and within 10 minutes, first of all, the pregame, did anybody see the pregame? I can't remember what two clowns were doing the pregame. I really want to say one of them was Wes Welker, and he's sitting there and he's wearing, I don't know, penny loafers, no socks, and literally every question he's asked, he basically insinuates that he has no interest in being there. No interest in being there. Then why are we paying this guy to be on TV if he's telling everyone on live TV, Fox Channel, Fox, one of the big NFL stations to carry games, he's basically telling you he doesn't want to be there. I'm like, is this really happening? Are we sure people know he's actually speaking right now? Because he's telling you he has no interest in being there. I was kind of floored. But then it gets worse because the game actually starts. And within 10 minutes, I'm ready to turn it off because I don't want to watch it anymore, because it was clear that the team didn't even bother to get off the bus. I was embarrassed. Now, I know it's preseason. I know that. I get it. I'm not asking for the team to win. I don't care if they win, but 38-0, you can't show up and have some sort of respectable presence on the field. I mean, holy cow, 38-0. It was downright crazy. They had no game plan, which is fine. No strategy, which is also fine, but no energy at all. How do you not bring energy when you're fighting for your roster spot? And we talked about this a few weeks ago. There are very few roster spots available on this team, very few. But the ones who seem to think they have a job, maybe they shouldn't have a job, because I'm wondering what the hell is going to happen when the actual regular season starts. Are all the other major teams in contention for the playoffs and Super Bowl performing like this in the preseason? I don't watch preseason. This is why I asked. We did a Would You Rather episode a few back, and I kind of want to just hit fast forward because all this training camp nonsense and preseason crap is pissing me off, and I just want to get to week 1 and then watch the Ravens game and then make some sort of evaluation on the status of this team, because after watching the first 2 preseason games, the first game, you're like, oh, well, our backups are just fine. They're just fine. Mike White, yeah, sure, whatever. Maybe he can stick around and be our third quarterback. He starts this game, and I'm like, oh my God, I could do better than this guy. He's terrible. He can't throw the ball. And then I'm watching Hard Knocks, and it's like, oh, Mike White, blah, blah, blah. And they're elevating this guy like he's amazing. And I'm like, no, he's been trash. He's always been trash. This is what I said way back when I wanted to go back through history, Bill's history, and find a suitable backup quarterback for Josh Allen, because these guys are terrible. I don't know. I feel like I'm losing my mind. I just want to hit fast forward, get me out of this preseason nonsense, training camp nonsense. Oh, it's so frustrating. And now this week, the topic, but I can't. Oh, I'm all over the place. I'm losing my mind, people. I'm losing my mind. 38-0, but enough about that game. Then after the game, the week progresses, and we're hearing rumors of Gabe Davis visiting the Bills. And I'm starting to think, well, what does this actually mean for our wide receiver room if we're trying to bring in Gabe Davis? Now, Sean McDermott came out and said our top 3 wide receiver spots are solid. They are rock solid. They are penciled in ink, or written in ink, right? So what does that mean for the next 4 guys? 4 guys. What are we talking about? You don't know who the next 4 wide receivers are? Normally, your room is set 1 through 4. Maybe 1 through 5, but you're telling me we only are set 1 through 3, and now we're bringing in Gabe Davis, which he hasn't signed anywhere, but there are I got fooled by this. I got duped the other day. I'm looking through, and the fake Adam Schefter is reporting that Gabe Davis signed a contract, and I'm like, oh, you got me again. The Twitter nonsense, the Twitter world, it can be very frustrating, so be very careful about the articles you choose to believe and take it face value, because most of the time you're going to get played. But Gabe Davis, do we want Gabe Davis back on this team? So I really started to think about this for a minute. And the answer, in my opinion, the answer is yes. Because before, Gabe Davis was the number 2 wide receiver on the team. Number 2. He is not a number 2 on this team or on any team. But you bring him back as a 4 or a 5, hell yeah, I want Gabe Davis on the team. He's still only 26 years old. And his connection with Josh, I mean, he put up some bangers of a game. He's a gamer. And I think he would replace the Matt Collins role. He has no problem blocking. He has no problem being aggressive and physical. I know he let us down here and there, but again, it goes back to what are you counting on him to do? Are you counting on him to be the number 2 wide receiver on the team? No, not interested. Do not want to sign up for that. But are you bringing him in as the 4 or 5 and paying him league minimum and it's not going to cost us anything? Why would you not take that? Because we have so many unknowns, so many question marks. Curtis Samuel, what the hell is wrong with this guy? Is he dealing with you want to talk about the injury tag? It's all we talk about. He is never on the field. Never. Curtis Samuel, what are you doing in the offseason? Like, you sleep on a bed of nails, for God's sakes? Like, do you walk around with no shoes and like walk on rocks all day? Like, what are you doing? I don't know how you are not taking care of yourself to ever be available to play football. And if that's the case, get the hell out of here. Get somebody in who can play, who can show up, who can be on the practice field, because availability is the best ability. Let's go. Enough is enough. So yeah, Gabe Davis, people are like, oh, we're really going to dig into the bottom of the well on this one. Well, if he's healthy, I know the Jags released him, but if he's healthy and it's costing us nothing, why would you not take a chance on bringing him in as the 4 or 5? I am all for this deal. All for this deal. And episode 3, Hard Knocks, while it was way better than episode 2, I will give you that. There are some cool, heartwarming moments. I did like the scene where they're doing the improv at in the auditorium with the guy having everybody up there and doing all the cool improv skits. I did like that. I did like the scene with Connor McGovern making pizza for everybody. That's cool to see. The Ed Oliver focus on his horses. I mean, we all knew the story of this, but it was cool to get a deeper dive into that stuff. But as far as the actual football stuff, they're focusing on these peripheral players who most likely are not going to make the team. And it's quickly becoming annoying how many times in an episode I have to hear Buffalo Joe. I know it's a great story. Joe Andreessen last year, local kid, makes the team, yada, yada, yada. We know the story by now. But he's looking kind of like trash so far. So Buffalo Joe, if I have to keep hearing Buffalo Joe 50 freaking times in an episode, you better step up your game, because I don't want to keep hearing that if your play is not going to back up the name you've been given. So step up your game, because I don't want to listen to this nonsense anymore. 2 episodes to go. It would be nice. Oh, we got a 2-second sound clip from your starting linebacker, Matt Milano. It's clear he actually can speak, but how about we actually put the microphone on him and see what the hell he's doing with his life? But I digress. 2 to go. I'm hoping we get something rather interesting, but I think it's going to be a continuation of episodes 2 and 3. I don't really think you're going to get any groundbreaking information, which is fine. Like I said, as long as there's no drama associated with this team, I don't care. As I told you before, just throw on some clips, play Mr. Brightside over and over again, and we'll have a nice, fine remaining 2 episodes. But what I did want to do with this team, is I found an article that Fox put out, and this came out at the beginning of the month, so about 3 weeks ago. And it lists the top 10 quarterback wide receiver duos in the NFL for the 2025 season. I looked at this article and I thought it was very telling. And so what I was thinking to myself is, because I like to, my mind likes to wander, and I like to think of how we can ever improve this team. And everyone, look, there's 2 sides of the fence to the everybody eats wide receiver scenario. Clearly, we are in some trouble if we're looking to bring in Gabe Davis, but we just talked about that. A solid 3, and you have no clue who your 4, 5, 6, 7 wide receivers are. Great. But the everybody eats mantra with that scenario is going to be a heck of a lot harder to bring to fruition if you don't know who the back end of that room is. The other end of the coin and the other argument is bringing in a number one wide receiver. We had it with Stephon Diggs. That relationship ended poorly, and we know how the next period of time went. But how do we actually feel about our quarterback and our number one wide receiver? Well, clearly it's Khalil Shakir, but if you compare him to the top wide receivers in the league, it's not even close. But our guy Josh, he just won the MVP. He's number one. So I'm looking at this top 10 duo, and the Bills aren't even on here. Now, should we be surprised with this? Should we be upset with this? No, I don't think so, because while I do think Shakir is a good piece for the team, for the offense, is he one of these top guys? No. So the question I put out to you all, going through this list, would you ever trade our top quarterback wide receiver combo for any other combo on this list? I already know what my answer is going to be, but I thought it would be a fun exercise. So let's go through this list, starting with number 10. On this list, you have Tua Tagovailoa and Tyreek Hill of the Miami Dolphins. Can't stand these two clowns, so it's a real simple answer for me. But these two come in at number 10 on the best quarterback wide receiver tandem for 2025, Tua and Tyreek Hill. Anybody want to trade out Josh and Shakir for these two clowns? Nope. Okay, we're gonna move right on. Next at number 9, we have Houston Texans, CJ Stroud and Nico Collins. Now, Nico Collins is a beast. I think this cat has an awesome future. If he can stay healthy, I think the sky's the limit for him. Would love to see him in a Bills uniform, but am I going to even consider trading Josh and Shakir for Stroud and Nico? No chance. I don't think Stroud is everything he's cracked up to be. I know he took the league by storm his rookie year, but I think he's kind of coming back down to earth, and I don't see this guy really being top 5 quarterback in the league. So pass. Number 8, we have Lamar from your Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson and Zay Flowers. Now, clearly this duo is going to be carried by Lamar. I think he far outshines Zay Flowers. Not to say Flowers is a bad wide receiver. I think he's solid, but I would say he's closer to Shakir in this tandem than some of the other wide receivers on the list. I think he's good, but a true number one, I don't know. So I do like Lamar. I think he's a solid quarterback. This is a good duo. I think they should be on this list, but nope, I'm not trading our two for those two any day of the week. Moving on to number 7, they have Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin. Oh, shocking. He has a contract dispute. So we'll see if he even takes the field week 1. It's crazy to me, though, that they put these two on the list. Now, I will be the first to admit Jaden had an amazing rookie season. Amazing. And if he keeps progressing the way it looks like he could, he'll be amazing and have a great future in the NFL. But let's maybe pump the brakes just a little before we put them on the top QB wide receiver tandems in the league. But anyway, I'm not trading my boy for that. Ask me again in maybe 3-4 years, but still probably no. Then we have Tampa Bay coming in at number 6 with Baker, the touchdown maker, Mayfield, and Mike Evans, who is 85 years old. So that's a clear no for me. I do like watching Baker and Mike Evans. I think these players are good, but there's no chance you can get me to take those two over our guys. Then again, another age issue. Matthew Stafford and Puka Nacua. I do appreciate this tandem. I think they're both very good. They're very exciting to watch. I like this team, but again, Matthew Stafford, what is he, 72? And Puka seems to not be able to stay healthy, so pass. Then we get to the number 4 tandem on this list. The Eagles have Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown. I think, as I've said before, I think Hurts is a byproduct of how good the team is around him. He basically can just run the offense. He has all day to throw. I think he is such a good fit for this team, but if you put him on another team, I'm just not sure he's going to put up the stats and going to show you as much positive growth that he has with the Eagles. I just think it's another perfect fit. That's a tough one, but I still think our boys in the red, white, and blue, JA17 and number 10, I'll take them all day over these guys. Number 3, we have, this is where the list starts to deteriorate, if you ask me, Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown. St. Brown's awesome. Awesome. But Jared Goff, in the one game he threw 5 interceptions? I think he's good. I think he's good for this team, but I think he is extremely inconsistent, and I would not ever have a long-term bet on Jared Goff being a starting quarterback for your franchise. He would be way down the list for me, way down the list. So I think this is the first one where St. Brown, the wide receiver, is actually pulling up this duo higher on the list than they should be. And then, in my opinion, it gets even crazier. Number 2 on this list, they have the Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott, and CeeDee Lamb. Lamb is a beast. He is a beast. But Prescott, really? Number 2? How much is Lamb carrying this duo to this ranking? I don't know. I think the Cowboys are a dumpster fire year after year after year. And while you see flashes of greatness from Dak, there's zero consistency. He can't stay healthy. And no thank you. And which brings us all the way to number 1. Now, this was the only one on the list that I would actually have to think about. And this is Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Who out there, Bills Mafia, who would be willing to trade Josh Allen and Shakir for Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase? I'm not saying I would, but it would give me pause. I think where this ends up being a no for me ultimately, and I'm just looking statistics-wise, I'm just looking at what these two bring to the team. Put Burrow and Chase on our team, on our offense. Do we win the Super Bowl? Well, probably not, because our defense is still atrocious. But I think that would be pretty even to what we currently have now with Josh and Shakir. Now, it's always going to be a no matter who you put in front of me. It's always going to be a no, because I think Josh does so much more for the franchise, for the city, for the Western New York region. He has... I hate to say the word savior, but there are so many people that idolize this man, just idolize this man. And I just don't think you can put a price tag on that. So we said, well, we're paying him $55 million. Yeah, but I think that there's so much more to who Josh Allen is for the local community, for Western New York, for Bills Mafia. It's just crazy to me that, and I go back into what I said before about really thinking about this team and never taking it for granted. Because you could easily have one of these other duos, but it's not going to be the same for Bills Mafia. It's not going to be the same for the Buffalo Bills organization. I will take JA-17 and whoever that number 1 receiver is, day after day, week after week, year after year, until he's done playing. And then we'll reevaluate. I love my quarterback. I love my team. I just thought it was an interesting exercise to see where the Bills rank, if at all. And clearly, they're not even in the top 10, which is funny, because then if you scroll all the way to the bottom of this article, they list the honorable mention categories, and that's where you first find Josh Allen and Khalil Shakir. So there you have it. We got an honorable mention. How do we feel about that, Bills Mafia? I would never put a price tag on Josh Allen and what he brings to this team. So the answer is clearly no thanks to a trade ever in history. Don't even bother bringing that noise to me or to anyone in Orchard Park. So that'll wrap up the Bills portion of the program. Now let's switch our attention to the squared circle. Wrestling Marks, how are we feeling?
There is so much stuff going on in the world of professional wrestling, and a lot of it is taking place outside of the ring. If you've seen all the news revolving WWE and the PLE issue and the deal they just arranged with ESPN to become the provider for PLEs moving forward, it kind of really happened quickly, and they have literally stepped on the gas with this. It's crazy. The Peacock deal, I guess, they filled their obligation 6 months early. Apparently adding extra nights to SummerSlam and WrestleMania equals speeding up their contract by 6 months. I'm not really sure how that works out, but there's only one PLE left on the Peacock app, and that's going to be Clash at Paris next Sunday. And then this deal that they just signed with ESPN created a new app, I guess, and it's direct to consumer, and now all the PLEs moving forward are going to be through ESPN. It's kind of shocking, depending on how you look at it, pretty frustrating as the consumer of wrestling, because now you have your wrestling and your shows spread out over so many different apps. And ESPN, if you look at it, ESPN is one of the most expensive streaming apps, $29.99 a month. I mean, we are right back to the days where we're paying $30 a month for a pay-per-view. Now, I know that was a long time ago, but it seems like we are, what's old is new again, right? And so it's very frustrating as a consumer.
I have to look into the details of this. We have Xfinity, we have as our cable provider, which we get ESPN and all the ESPN stations, but I don't think we even get to watch WWE because I think you have to have the apps. Now, the news articles and all the information that has come out so far is clear as mud when it comes to this stuff. And they've already announced a special PLE that they just added, this WrestlePalooza event that's happening in Indianapolis in September. The tickets are already on sale. I mean, like, they are full. It's like Jacob Fatu, all gas, no brakes with this deal. And it's kind of crazy. So we will know really quickly in a matter of a month what the future holds for us as a consumer and how much we are going to have to shell out to pay to watch our events. And it's very frustrating. I remember the days when the network came out, the WWE network, and the whole thing for like 6-8 months was $9.99. And I would love to go back to, hey, I can pay $10 a month to get all my pay-per-views, all my back catalog, because that's the other thing. They haven't even fleshed out the details of who owns the back catalogs to all the, and that's where I love to live, right? I love to go back, and we talk about the nostalgia factor. I love to go pull up old pay-per-views. Well, if the back catalog is still on Peacock for however many months or till the end of the year or who the hell knows, I have to pay for that because I don't know if any of you have ever tried to pull up an old WWE show on Peacock without having the premium package. It is insane the amount of commercials that are dropped in the middle of these shows. It almost makes them unwatchable because you have to sit there and every match you have to sit through a 2-minute or 4-minute ad that you can't fast forward. So if the back catalog is on the Peacock app, the new catalog moving forward is going to be on the ESPN app. You have Netflix has Monday Night Raw exclusivity. You have NXT is on another channel. Not to mention, I haven't even gotten to AEW and their fiasco of programming. I mean, that looks relatively easy compared to what WWE is going to. It's simply, hey, fire up HBO Max is where I watch my Collision and Dynamite and all the AEW stuff. That's at least in one place, and then you go to Amazon Prime to watch the pay-per-view. So, I mean, we're talking 5-6 different locations to, if you are a wrestling fan, which I consider, I like to consume wrestling, not just one specific thing, but if you want to consume everything, you are now shelling out a ton of money. And I think it kind of sucks. I do. So I was pretty disappointed. I guess I won't know what this exactly means until WrestlePalooza is streaming live, and if I get it, great. If I don't, well, maybe I'm going to have to figure something else out because I'm not sure how I feel about dropping another $30 on another app. And everyone's like, well, everybody watches ESPN anyway. Well, ESPN, it's not what it used to be. I remember in the 90s and the 2000s, like going off to college, ESPN was pretty much the only channel guys in my demographic and age group watched. ESPN was always on. Now I hardly have it on ever because I can't tolerate some of the clowns that they put on there. So for me to spend $30 a month just to watch my PLEs, pretty disappointed with that. But we shall see what happens moving forward. Anyway, there is another big story broke, and that was on the women's champion, Naomi. She came out on Monday Night Raw and announced to the world that she and Jimmy Uso, her husband, are expecting a baby. So congrats to Naomi and Jimmy. Super awesome. But unfortunately, she has to drop the belt. So we shall see what happens moving forward. I did think it was a great promo. And at the end, she turned back into the heel persona and said, whoever's holding the belt, when I come back in 9 months, you better proceed with caution. Thought it was awesome. Great promo. Happy for her. She was just hitting her stride as a badass heel women's champion. I thought the work she was doing was awesome. So it sucks that that's getting derailed, but I'm happy for her and Jimmy. What else is going on? SmackDown. If you have not watched SmackDown, there's 2 segments you need to see. You need to see the Becky Lynch opening segment where she comes down. SmackDown was live from Dublin, and Becky Lynch, who happens to be from Ireland, came out. It was awesome. The crowd was on fire for her. She proceeds to get them all riled up and then turns into a vicious heel. Becky Lynch is one of my absolute favorites. She is fantastic on the mic. She's great in the ring. Love the work she is doing, especially as the Women's Intercontinental Champion. That promo was fire, which set up the main event, which whatever, we don't even need to talk about it. But Tiffany Stratton comes out, interrupts her. I got to tell you, the Tiffany Stratton thing, I'm over it. She does nothing for me. She needs to turn into a heel, go bad guy, and maybe I would appreciate her work a little more. But already the Tiffy time and it's not working for me. I think it's kind of stale, and she needs to spice it up and move on, because yeah, that whole thing, I'm not feeling it. And then the second segment you must see is the John Cena Logan Paul segment from SmackDown. This was fire. They went at each other. Great promo battle. Logan Paul's talking about how Cena's leaving and blah, blah, blah. And he has 5 moves. And he was hitting some really good jabs at him. Oh, you got to see it. And then Cena comes back and it's like, you've only wrestled 23 matches. I've been here for 23 years, and calls him a parasite. And it was great. And it's going to be a cool match. Looking forward to Clash in Paris. There's some good stuff on the table for the last PLE on Peacock. So what else is happening? The rest of SmackDown, it was fine. I did appreciate the backstage segment with Michin and Julia talking about her belt and the path for Michin moving forward to challenge her for the title. But in the background, if you see this, if you look carefully, Nikki Cross is seen walking up the stairs eerily in the background from the Wyatt Six, and she's just looming in the background. She stands there 5 seconds. If you aren't really paying attention, you can't even see her. I thought that was brilliant. And then she walks away slowly. I would love to see Nikki Cross get some run as a champion. Hey, let's get some more gold to the Wyatt Six. I think they have a lot of talent, and I want to see where that group can go moving forward. AEW, huge pay-per-view this weekend. I'm kind of on the fence with whether I'm actually going to watch it. I got to be honest. The problem with an AEW show, you better sit down for 5 to 6 hours, because it ain't going to be wrapped up in a nice 2.5, 3.5 hours like these WWE pay-per-views are going to be. You do get your money's worth, which, hey, if I'm going to drop $50, I want it to be a good show. I know it's going to be a good show. There's so many matches. I think there's 9 matches for the whole show. I mean, the pre-show starts at like 11:30 on Sunday. And it's probably not going to end until 6 o'clock. So if you want your whole day to be consumed by wrestling, I would strongly suggest you invest in the pay-per-view. Forbidden Door. For some reason, I couldn't remember the name. But yeah, it's going to be a good show. But the news coming out of AEW revolves around Will Ospreay. All the rumors and all the news is looking like he is going to need neck surgery, and it's pretty serious. So I'm not sure how he's even going to be in one of these matches, but I think it's one of these big matches. It's going to turn into a schmazzola that we all love to see. There's like a 5-on-5, just crazy ass people everywhere match. So I think he can be a little more protected in a match like this instead of a 1-on-1. But the rumor mill has it that after this match, he's going away for a long time, which sucks because he's one of my favorites. I love watching him wrestle. But the rumor is he wants to go get this surgery and be back for the Wembley show, which I think is going to be next summer for the All In show. So we're looking at June, July for their big show of the year. And yeah, I hope it's successful. I hope everything works out because he is surely going to be missed. But I think that's going to wrap it up, folks. So if you have enjoyed this episode or any episode of the 3Ts podcast, please do me a huge favor and share it with someone who either loves the Bills, loves card collecting, or loves professional wrestling. It doesn't matter. I'm trying to grow this one episode at a time. Hit that follow, leave me a review, whatever you can to help the 3Ts and your boy TB. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Thank you all for listening, and I will see you next time. So until next time, whether it's ripping packs, breaking tables, or dropping elbows, keep doing what you love. And as always, go Bills.